Hello, it's Ashes. Today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite shows of all time, and most likely my favorite character off of that show, Mickey Milkovich from Shameless, and why I, as an autistic person, believe that he's autistic. I wrote down some points here. There's 8 points. So, first, his lack of eye contact. In many scenes, he refuses or straight up is uncomfortable by eye contact. He's always sort of off in his head looking. I'm gonna put up some scenes in which I think this is especially relevant. The one that comes to mind the most is that scene of Ian trying to see that if he has that look in his eye, and he's just so confused and keeps looking away. And really the only person who he actually does give eye contact is Ian, and that is only sometimes. He still overall ignores a lot of eye contact, and I think mostly that is for comfort, and I experienced that too. I don't have any problems with eye contact if I'm comfortable with a person, like my boyfriend or something, but with strangers or people who I have not known, who I'm not comfortable with, even if I've known them for a long time, I often won't be able to be comfortable using eye contact. It'll just be uncomfortable or awkward to me. Second, he's very direct. Mickey has outright stated how he likes material things and things he can touch. He likes being very direct with his wording and often gets confused when others beat around the bush. Is very to the point with the things that he's saying, more than the other characters in the show, and he's really the only character who shows these traits of very directness, avoiding eye contact despite his tough persona. Third is his social skills are not very good.
Ned died. The fuck is Ned?
Count of 3. First thing that comes to mind, something normal that we could do together.
Yeah, okay.
1, 2, 3. Take a bath together. Assholes.
Although he grew up in the Milkovich household, where they're generally not the best with, manners and things, he still is significantly worse at understanding social cues than his family members, like Terry, his father, and Mandy, his sister. He had trouble asking out girls in an appropriate way in the first season. He couldn't comprehend how to communicate his feelings with Ian when they first started dating, and even later. Oftentimes we see him confused by his own thoughts and feelings, not by him being gay, but just in regular couple things even. This goes back to him being very direct and the eye contact. Like in that one scene where he was talking to Ian and Ian was talking about going into the army, and he couldn't express his feelings properly. Part of that is because he grew up in an abusive household, but also part of that is just he doesn't know how to express his feelings, and he doesn't know how to communicate those with another person, which is something I relate to a lot. Fourth is he hates change. This is really something that stood out to me, mostly why I started considering is this character autistic, because there's so many examples of him not liking change. In season 11, them trying to get a new apartment and it being on the west side, or even just getting an apartment in general. Any changes, any intense thing always seems to stress him out in that way more than it does for the other characters. Or another thing, the next thing I'm going to be talking about, number 5, mixes in with this. He has meltdowns.
These. Where the fuck are the Shibari chairs?
These are the Kiavaris.
You shut the fuck up. You. I could not have been more specific. I asked you to find me a caterer who had the gold Chiavaris with the white cushions. You had one job.
Any of these could work.
God damn it, why does everything always have to suck? This is my fucking wedding day. For one day, can I just have the gold Chiavaris with the white cushions? I thought I told you to shut the fuck up. Are you retarded? Huh, Brooks? Answer me.
Yes.
Yes, you're retarded. Which is why we had the fucking mix-up. Sorry. This is my fault. I put too much on your plate.
Anytime he is confused or feels distress, he has a meltdown. And it's not really a tantrum because he isn't trying to manipulate someone. He just simply can't express his emotions in anything other than violence and a big freak out. There's many examples of this. Just any time that he doesn't understand, he just starts freaking out. Way more than any of the other characters in the show, if it's not exclusive to him.
Fuck, you owe me some chairs.
Excuse me, you can't take those,
Like hell I can't, bitch.
but they're for everyone.
Well, guess I shouldn't charge so much rent for an apartment. Don't have no fucking furniture.
Gotta put the chair back, Mickey.
The hell are you doing in the pool?
This is Jill. Dallin.
I don't give a shit if it's Siegfried and Roy. I'm out here getting harassed left and right from everybody in this dump, and you're in the pool playing fucking footsie with these two.
Hey, you can't take the chairs. You're gonna get fined. We're evicted.
I don't give a shit. You know what? Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Just like everybody else on the fucking west side. This place blows. I'm out of here.
That your husband?
Yep.
Passionate.
Yep.
And I feel like that's a very autistic thing, especially when most of the time it has to do with change and him being uncomfortable with change and not being able to express his emotions. Or even understand his emotions, which is another part of autism. Not being able to understand the things you're feeling. Yeah. So, number 6, he has trouble in school, not only with attendance, but also with reading and understanding the subjects. Many people headcanon him as dyslexic because of this, and many autistic people have things like dyslexia, hyperlexia, and dyspraxia, etc.
If you actually knew how to read, maybe you'd understand. Not, look at these fucking squiggle things all over this piece of paper.
So it would make sense. They're often like side effects, I guess, or not side effects, symptoms kind of autism. Yeah. So he definitely shows signs of that, especially when he said, like, I'm fucked for life, and how he hasn't passed a single class. And part of this could just be because he's a bad kid and he didn't care about school, but also it just seems like he struggles with reading and understanding basic concepts. Like, yeah, that's kind of jokes in some ways. Like, they kind of joke about that sometimes, and how Mickey just doesn't understand things. Like, he's very unintelligent. And I don't think that he's unintelligent. I think he just can't study things the same way or understand the concepts because his brain works a different way, or he's dyslexic. Those are kind of the same thing. But yeah. And 7 is he's very naive. He doesn't seem like it by his tough persona, but in reality, he sticks to things that he knows and has been taught. He can't comprehend anything else. When something uncomfortable or unusual is presented to him, he suddenly breaks character and becomes more soft and confused, a reaction I personally experienced too. Yeah, I've seen this in some of the times, some of the scenes, just kind of how his character shifts when he's presented with something unusual or out of his ordinary life. And he often just, it seems like he just doesn't know how to process things that aren't, it's almost like a safe foods kind of thing, but with interactions, if that makes sense. You know, like how a lot of picky people, mostly autistic picky people, will have these safe foods, you know, like they'll eat like mac and cheese for days on end, because that's their safe food. It's kind of like that, but with interactions. You know, he does the crime things, he sees the same people every day, he lives in the same house for all these years, and something unusual comes along, he does not know how to process that properly because it's not part of his safe foods, or he immediately rejects it. Yeah. And eighth is special interests. And he doesn't really have any explicit special interests. He's very into guns. That's something. But I think you could probably say that his lack of special interests is mostly to do with the way that he doesn't let himself express himself, and with his childhood trauma and other trauma. Even in the later seasons, although he does show more of his soft side and how he gets excited about small things like pools or flowers, he still doesn't seem to have as many special interests as you would expect. But also, if the screenwriters or the scriptwriters didn't intend for him to be autistic, that also makes sense. Because the other things could just be creating a character and accidentally making them autistic, whereas special interests is more kind of something that you have to go out of your way to make a character have special interest. But regardless, I do think the character is accidentally or purposely autistic, just for the character traits that he gave him.
Can't be 8:30, can it? Or 7 o'clock. No, Nikki has this shit every night at the exact same time. That's annoying.
Which makes me very happy, because he's definitely a comfort character for me. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, you can subscribe or leave a like if you'd like, but no pressure. And feel free to check out my other videos, which should probably be on the screen right now.